Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Yesterday, news emerged from Iran of two men being executed for blasphemy. The names were Youssef Mekad and Sadrolia Fazel Sareh. And they died at Arak prison in central Iran, and they'd been arrested 3 years ago, back in May 2020, accused of being involved in a channel on the Telegram message app. And the channel was called Critique of Superstition and Religion. And basically these guys were charged with having insulted the Prophet Muhammad and having promoted atheism, and having been tried and imprisoned, kept in cells for 3 years, they were executed on the crime of blasphemy. Using a country's laws in this way is something I've spoken about on a number of occasions. I was opposed to us having blasphemy laws in Ireland. I supported them being repealed from the Constitution because I've always maintained that if we really believe that our faith is true, then God doesn't need the law of the land to help him. There was a controversy a few years back over the comedian Stephen Fry and some comments he had made in an interview with Gay Byrne. And I had a letter published in the Irish Times at the time, simply saying that God's big enough to look after himself and his own reputation. He doesn't need the law of the land to help him. Because if the Iranians really believe that their Islamic religion is the truth, then surely if it's the truth, it can stand on its own 2 feet without needing the protection of the laws of men. And the same goes for my faith. I believe that my faith is the truth. I believe that the gospel of Jesus Christ is God's truth revealed to man. And because of that, I believe that it doesn't need to be a privileged message. We don't need to protect this message in some way with our laws, because the gospel is in itself powerful. All we ask is a level playing field where we have the ability to proclaim the gospel just like everyone else has the ability to proclaim what they believe to be true. And if the gospel is true, then the gospel will shine out above and beyond any other teaching that men can bring. I happen to think atheism is foolishness. I also think that Islam is a false religion. I think that Muhammad was a false prophet. Doesn't mean I hate atheists. It doesn't mean I hate Muslims, but I think their beliefs don't make sense. And I should have a perfect right to say that. There are countries where I could be imprisoned for saying that, where I would be accused of hate speech, or even in a place like Iran, I could be executed for saying things like that. But I should have a perfect right to say what I believe to be true and what I believe to be false. And atheists and Muslims should have the same rights. They should be able to say what they think of my beliefs. And if they think what I believe is a load of rubbish, then they should have the freedom to say so. I don't need the law to protect my beliefs. And that's why it's vitally important, I believe, that Christians stand up for the freedom of religious expression for all people. Yes, we stand up for Christians, and thank God that we have organisations here in Ireland, and we have our own excellent church in chains that stands up for the rights of Christians in other parts of the world where they are persecuted. But we should not only stand up for the rights of Christians, we should stand up for the rights of all. You Muslims should be allowed to say what they believe. They should have that freedom. Atheists should have the freedom for what they believe. And I believe it is very important that we as Christians don't just stick up for the rights of Christians in other parts of the world, but we also stick up for the rights of, for example, these two poor people that have been executed in Iran. Freedom of religion and freedom to express your religion or your lack of religion is a basic human right guaranteed under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we as Christians have nothing to fear from freedom, because ours is a message of freedom. It was for freedom that Christ has set us free. God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.